Welcome to the Black and Gold Standard Podcast. And today we're going to talk about the mock draft. This is my first mock draft for the year. So we'll be doing a couple of these, as time goes. And I think right now, hold on for a second. So I think right now we're probably probably about 4 or 5 of these before the draft. Um, I use a draft simulator, so um, so sometimes I feel like it'll be players available that I think realistically may not be available, but I just go straight off the simulator and just try to do my best and just at least come up with the ideas I think what the Steelers need to be trying to do in this draft. One of the things I did do, as you know, the Steelers have like 12 picks, in which they're not going to take 12 picks. They're not going to use all 12 of those picks. So I was able to make some trades just to get rid of a few of them, and I think I ended up using maybe 8 or 9 of them. But yeah, to have 12 rookies, you don't even have room on your roster for that many guys. But anyway, let's get to it and let me know what you think in the comments. But this is how my mock draft 1.0 went. All right, let's go. So, first pick, um, Mikael Lemons, wide receiver. I mean, everybody know the Pittsburgh Steelers need a wide receiver. This is something they needed a wide receiver the last 2 years. A number two guy. Now, what I will say is this: I believe the Steelers will sign a veteran wide receiver, which probably will be number two. So he would probably start coming in, working in as a number three, but he'll be a great number three. Um, Big time speed, great hands. Plays a little bigger than his 5'11" size. Um, especially at this point, um, if Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, which I believe he will be, Rodgers don't really have time to be trying to work a rookie receiver in. Now, if you're special and you show that you can handle it, that's one thing. But like I said, I think the Steelers will bring in a veteran number two receiver, and Lemons could easily work in as a number three because McCartney want to play a lot of 11 personnel, so he want to have a lot, three receivers out there a lot. So, with that said, I think this would be a great pick, a great number one pick, and then moving forward, he definitely could move into that number two slot and be a big time player for the Steelers. So with that said, let's keep moving. Round number two, um, Garrett Nussmeyer, he was there. I think this is a guy that actually, when it's all said and done, probably is going to push himself at least until the bottom of the first round. I think he's going to be a first round pick. Um, I don't think the Steelers will take him in the first round, but went to the Senior Bowl, ended up being the MVP. This is a kid that can play. I know a lot of people are down on him because he didn't have a great season last year at LSU, but it was a lot of issues going on with the head coach and some injuries, and the offensive line had some injuries. So didn't have the best of years, but this is a guy. His dad is the offensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints. So this is a kid that knows the pro game. He's been taught well. Um, um, the head coach for the Steelers um, knows his family. Probably been knowing him since he probably was a little kid. So you got that relationship, and as you could look at the Steelers coaching staff, relationships means a lot to McCartney. So with that said, I can see Nussmeier being a Pittsburgh Steeler. I know a lot of people is saying, well, we got Will Howard, but I think he would want to McCartney would want to bring in his own guy and let those, especially if Rodgers is here, let those two guys battle. And I'm quite sure he would do kind of like what he did with Rodgers and put him through his quarterback school and school these guys or school one of them, whoever probably end up winning that number two spot. This will probably push Mason Rudolph off the roster. But I think it's it's a great pick. 6 foot, 205. Have he can make all the NFL throws. Doesn't have I wouldn't call a rocket arm, but he has a good enough arm to make all the throws. Um, he's not a Lamar Jackson. He's not going to be able to just take off and have an 80-yard run, but his feet is good enough to make plays outside the pocket and scramble for first downs when needed. But like I say, in the NFL, you got to make plays in the pocket. It ain't about running all the time and all that stuff because if you just see those guys that just run the ball, they ain't winning nothing. They ain't doing anything. So to me, I think he has the skill set to be a good starting quarterback in the NFL. And I think if he's there in the second round at pick 53, the Pittsburgh Steelers will select him. Okay. As you can see, I want this team to be physical on defense. I mean, the Steelers defense needs to get younger and also needs to get more physical. And if they're going to commit to running this 3-4 defense, you need to have the right personnel. And part of the personnel is the defensive tackles, nose tackles. You need those big anchor guys that can't nobody move them. They can take on that center guard combo block and take on that double team. Keep Wilson and Queen clean and don't have to worry about letting guards and centers get into them guys. And I think Dominique Orange is a guy that can do that. Big guy, 6'4", 325 pounds, strong as an ox. And these are the guys that the Steelers need to make this 3-4 defense work effectively. And because the guys they have now, they're not big enough, not strong enough to hold, to anchor down in that nose tackle position. They're more of defensive ends in the 3-4, and you just need some size in there. And in the third round, I would go Dominique Orange if he's available out of Iowa State. Then I'm going to double down. I'm going to double down. I'm going to take another defensive tackle. Again, I want this defense to get more physical. I want to get younger, and I want to get cheaper. Um, I would let those two guys battle it out in camp to see who could, be the starter. But Dante Carleone, they call him the Godfather. 6'1", 320 pounds. Another guy, strong as an ox, out of University of Cincinnati. A guy that can anchor down. Now you got two of them. So until those guys could really show that they could, handle the position full time, you got a nice rotation of big defensive tackles. Now the thing of it is, and the day of the 355-pound guy, those days are over. But you get a guy that's 330, 320. That's what you need, and I think the Steelers would do good drafting both of these guys. Like I said, that'll give you a rotation and keep those guys fresh. And this is the key to running the 3-4 defense is having those anchors. And I would definitely like to see this move. Okay, their last third round pick, Bo Stevens, offensive guard, All American, 6'5", 315 pounds. It's a massive guy. Um, I would definitely take him in round 3. That'll give you another offensive guard and probably move him into the starting position um, if Salamalo retires, or if the Steelers just decide to let him go. Um, he had a little injuries 2 years ago with his leg, but played all the games last year. Like I say, he was an All American, All Big Ten. He's just a role grader of a guard, also great in protection. This is a guy that if he doesn't start as a rookie, he's definitely gonna start the year after. And this is a guy you can plug into that young offensive line and keep things going. You got McCormick on the other side, put him on the left side, and just plug them in and keep these guys going. You have a great coach in Evans, the assistant offensive line coach. He's gonna really mentor these guys. He's gonna be able to help a guy like Stevens and keep him on the right track, keep him going. And this will be a great pick for the Steelers. All right. In the 4th round, I want to go with a D3 player, Tyron Montgomery. Um, when I was coaching high school football, I coached receivers, and one of the things I've always tried to do was raid the basketball team and try to find those 6'1", 6'2", 5'11" guys that they have hoop dreams, but it ain't gonna really work out for those guys. Um, but they could be good football players. Because the one thing about my basketball players, they have great feet, they have great hands. And if you can find a guy that's tough enough, because some of them basketball players are not tough, so first time they take one under the chin, they're retiring. You'll go in the locker room and you'll see they stuff hanging up in the locker, and they're done. They're back on the hoop court. But if they show that they're tough enough and actually good athletes, that's what you want. And I think Montgomery is that type of player. 5'11", 190 pounds. It went down to the Senior Bowl and dominated. And if you watch his release moves are basketball moves, a lot of crossover type moves. And, most DBs just haven't seen that type of stuff. So it kind of throw them for a loop, but he gets great release. He's a good athlete, great ball skills. Will be a nice guy for the Steelers to get in the 4th round. I think he may push himself out of the 4th round. We'll see how his combine goes. But again, you know, like I say, I think the Steelers are going to sign a free agent, and if they can draft 2 wide receivers, just to get this draft, just to get that receiver room back in order and get some talent in there. And I would love to see Montgomery with the 4th pick, with a 4th round pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, here we go. Again, I'm bringing size to our defense. Lander Burton, just one of those big time Utah hard nose type of backers, inside linebacker, 6'5", 240 pounds. A guy that's just gonna, he's hard nosed. If you decide to let Patrick Queen go, maybe next year, because I think he'll be here this year. He should be ready to move in and take over that position. He's a guy, sure tackle. Like I say, nice size, a little tall, but nice size, and just somebody that the Steelers need. And like I say, that defense needs to get younger and it needs to get a little cheaper. and this will be a great pickup for the Steelers. All right, let's do something that the Steelers show that they do. Um, um, McCartney is really showing that he believes in relationships, and that's what the Steelers do. So let's bring in Bud Clark, the son of Ryan Clark, safety, 6'1", 185 pounds. Just give him a shot at that safety position, because the Steelers really need to work on that, get younger there, get cheaper there. They need the bodies there. So I would definitely give him a shot, 6th-round pick. It's not a big investment. And see if this kid could get it done. He has great ball skills. It'll just be like I say, this is something the Steelers do. They like relationships. So I think they could bring in Clark and see what type of player he could be. And then with the last pick in the 7th round, I would bring in Ricardo Hallman, cornerback from Wisconsin, 5'10", 190 pounds, 7th-round pick. Probably not guaranteed to make the team, but if he does, that'll be a bonus. But if not, practice squad player maybe. Great size. Again, the Steelers like Big Ten players. They like players from Wisconsin. That's been pretty good for them lately. And like I say, we got rid of a lot of the extra picks they had. But I think this would be a nice corner to bring in the camp, see what he has, see if he can make the squad. If not, like I say, he probably would be a practice squad player. But that is it for my first mock draft. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments. And like I said, we'll have some more of these shortly. We probably do. I don't know. Probably do about 4 or 5 of them. But until then, make sure you like and subscribe, and leave me a comment and let me know what you feel about my picks. And like I said, we'll do some more of these coming up shortly. But until then, you guys take care. I'll talk to you later, and um, just enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and hopefully our black and gold can get back to that special game one day. But until then, we'll see. All right, take care. Bye bye.